Hit that like, comment below, subscribe if you got the time. It's your boy Cash Rep Sunday Podcast. For this, let's get straight into it. October 25th, 2025. It's signed, sealed, delivered, right? We got the likes of Joseph Parker, Fabio Wardley. But immediately after that, assuming Joseph Parker is successful, and the rumors are already starting to fly that the likes of the young man, Moses Itauma, who just beat the likes of Dillian, the body snatcher White, may be in line for the likes of Joseph Parker early to mid 2026. Now, with that said, I still want to see, I think Joseph Parker will be successful against the likes of Fabio Wardley. I think he should beat him. There's levels to this game, but I think it should be a good, entertaining fight. Assuming he beats the likes of Fabio Wardley, I obviously want the likes of Joseph Parker to get his scrap with Usyk. He deserves that shot, should get that shot, better get that shot, right? But let's say worst comes to worst, and he doesn't get that shot, and Usyk vacates the WBO belt, especially if he vacates it prior to the Wardley fight, and that becomes a championship fight. And Usyk goes on to do other things. Parker, Itauma. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of momentum behind the likes of Itauma, the young fighter from the UK, I believe, 20 years old. Good fighter. Has a lot of potential. A lot of potential. But put him in the ring with Joseph Parker. It'll be a good test. It'll be a good test for that man. But I think it'll be a little too early and a big mistake for his career. I think where Parker is in his career, the veteran, been around for a while himself. But more importantly, he's a veteran's been around for a while and had a lot of tough fights that has elevated and still growing in the sport of boxing. He's not on the decline. I don't want to take nothing away what happened, Dillian the body snatcher White. That was a style matchup that just fed into the young man, Moses Itauma, picking him apart earlier than we all expected. Now, we expected the knockout, but no one expected it to be that clean that early. I don't want Mr. Moses Itauma, the young man, to take that victory from Dillian the body snatcher White and think that's going to be the same with Parker. See, Parker is on, he's progressing in his career. Number one in the heavyweight division, only under Usyk, who's come back from tough losses. Changed his style, elevated, got a good corner, good head coach, and is at a different level of boxing in his career right now for a veteran. That would be a tough fight for a young man, 20-year-old, who hasn't really suffered any adversity yet, hasn't had a real true tough test yet. I mean, this is the first time for everything, so I guess you could get that first true test with Joseph Parker and maybe overcome it. But I still like to see Moses Itauma hone in his skills a little bit more, work on that defense, take a good shot from another contender, and work on a few things, perfect his skills, and make sure he's ready to jump into that top five, contender status, taking on any of those guys in the top five, whether it's Parker, Ajit Kabayel, Hrgovic, you name it. I don't want that young man to be stalled because I see the potential that Moses Itauma has. But then I wrestle with it, right? Because you got to dare to be great. This is boxing. This is the sport to challenge yourself. This is the sport that, men find out where they are. This is why it's the best combat sport, period. Soon to be, again, the best sport, period, across all sports. We're growing quick, we're growing fast to get back to that, that top status in the world of sports. So maybe this is the right thing, but I wrestle with it for Mr. Moses Itauma because you don't want to rush him. I want him to perfect his skills. I want him to work on a few things. I don't want the business of boxing to put him in a bad space and ruin his career too early. Now, again, only Moses Itauma and his team know where he is at in his career and where they're ready to go. So if they choose to press the issue with a Joseph Parker fight 2026, then they're ready. They're the ones going to tell us they're ready. But don't let the business, don't let Queensberry Promotions specifically lick their chops and push you into a bad position just because you're trying to make history as one of the youngest fighters to do it, and you've got the face, you've got the display, you got the poise to be a future face of boxing, future face of UK boxing specifically. Joseph Parker is at a different level. Tough man, tough warrior, true fighting man. Now, he will take that fight. He will fight anybody. He said it time and time again. So making the fight and how realistic it could happen, I think is very realistic because both of these men look like they like to fight. They enjoy boxing. They enjoy the combat of throwing hands. But I would warn the young Moses Itauma, if you can, I would take another fight, maybe a top 10 contender or somebody else in the top 20 of the heavyweight division, a Jared Anderson type, um, maybe a Michael Hunter type. Somebody's going to give you a few rounds and move and throw hands and actually hit you with something, challenge you in a good way. Maybe a Gerald Big Baby Miller, a guy who doesn't move a lot but throws a lot of hands and has a really good chin and can give you the rounds I think you're looking for to test that stamina. But if you're ready and your team says you're ready, then you're ready. And if you're going to sign, seal, and deliver it, then let's bring it. Let's have a good fight. I think it would be a great fight for both men, good fighters. I just warn that let's not push the issue if you're not ready. That's all I can say about that. With that said, about the fight itself, it'll be a tight fight. It'll be 60-40 favorite of the likes of Joseph Parker, the veteran, the one who's a little bit more proven, the one's had a little bit more adversity, who can move and punch at the same time, who's elevating his career. Now, assuming he gets past Fabio Wardley, he'll be the favorite. But Moses Itauma stands a really good chance. 40% is a really good chance with no disrespect. The young man's going to have to show the world of boxing where he is and how he's arrived. If they sign, seal, deliver this fight, and it's very doable, they're both on the same promotional company, right? Same brand. And Usyk drops that WBO belt, it'll put Itauma in a great position to become a young champion. I like the fight itself. I like both fighters. I just warn, let's make sure we don't push the young fighter, this potential future face of boxing, ahead of schedule and ruin a great career. Anyways, hit that like button. It's free. Comment below. Subscribe if you got the time. We appreciate that. Love until the next time. Peace.